Let's talk about travel and tourism. With all the tariffs that Trump has put on Canada and the US, Canadians are staying away from the United States in droves. You know, they say that even a 10% loss in tourism in the United States would translate into literally billions of dollars of loss for that country. And it looks like that is actually materializing now. There's one motel, boutique hotel, bed and breakfast style, in Maine in the U.S. that was on the news the other night, and they stated that 90% of their business comes from Canada every year. And they have had almost 100% of their Canadian reservations now canceled for 2025. It's a huge loss for this one small inn in Maine. And it's actually a really picturesque place as well. So tourism really is a big deal for the United States. I mean, the largest contingent of people coming to the United States comes from Canada. And that means if Canadians start not going, that industry is going to be absolutely devastated. This is one of the things that is working with the boycotts of different things for the U.S. to send a strong message to President Trump that he needs to pay attention to what he's doing. There's a lot that's riding on all of this, you know. So it's also, I find it really interesting that different countries now are actually putting out travel advisories, telling their people not to go to the U.S., including Canada. The UK and Germany started doing it, advising their people not to travel to the United States because of all the fears now of the tourists being detained, sent to ICE stations, immigration control stations, throughout the U.S. and treated like really, really badly. I mean, there's horror stories that have come out surrounding this. So it's no wonder. I mean, I wouldn't go to the United States now if they paid me to go, just for that reason alone. But you combine that with the fact that the Canadian dollar right now is at such a disparity with the U.S. dollar. Really, it doesn't pay for Canadians to go down there anyway, in that sense. On the flip side, though, it's a great opportunity for us to invite our American friends up to Canada and come and visit us here and see what this country's all about. I mean, we have some magnificent scenery. We've got great cultural events throughout the year, especially in the summertime. We've got the Canadian Rockies. We've got the Canadian Shield. We've got Eastern Canada and the quaint fishing villages. And then, of course, we've got the rustic north as well. So, I mean, I invite all of Americans to come up and take advantage of the dollar difference and enjoy our great nation. Why not? You know, we promise as Canadians, we're not going to detain you. We're not going to throw you in jail. You know, unless you do something catastrophically wrong or illegal. This is a great country to come and visit. For our American friends, the only thing we would ask is that you don't wear your red MAGA hats, and might be an idea to stay away from the topic of conversation of politics, depending on what your persuasion with politics is in the United States. But the threat against Canada is very real. I mean, in Canada here, as a Canadian, we're taking that very, very seriously. And as a result, that is why we're boycotting so much U.S. product and services right now. Right now, if you go into a grocery store or a clothing store or a lot of retail outlets, people you'll find are investigating the tags, where things are made from, whether they're a product of Canada, the United States, or whatever. And we'll buy anything from all over the world except for the United States at this time, unless it's an absolute necessity, of course. So there's lots and lots to consider with that. Part of the boycott that Canadians are doing with the U.S. is also with service companies and social media outlets. For example, I know I've already canceled my Twitter account and switched to BlueSky. And BlueSky is also a U.S. firm. However, it doesn't have the ties to Elon Musk and all of that mess. So it's the better of two evils. And of course, I still am on Facebook because there is no alternative at the moment. You know, I like to keep in touch with what's going on with family and friends, and also use Facebook as a means to share some of my thoughts and feelings, not only about politics, but about all kinds of things. I also like cooking and art and a lot of different activities that I would use Facebook to share with people. Another aspect of the whole tariff situation is energy and energy consumption. I mean, energy is a big deal because Trump keeps saying that we have a $200 billion deficit with Canada as far as trade goes, which is not true. It's realistically about $60 billion. And it's only that much because of the oil that the United States buys from Canada. And most of that comes from our province of Alberta. And Alberta has really stood up and is making quite a few controversial waves here in Canada because the Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, has, at least on the surface, has cozied up to Trump and the Republicans, and that's not going over so well with a lot of Canadians right now. She's kind of looking out for her province and her people, which on one hand is very good. That's what you would want your elected leaders to do. But on the other hand, she's not looking out for the bigger picture, and that is the sovereignty of Canada. She's willing to sell out to the United States, or so it sounds from news reports, but time will tell as we get closer to our election day on April 28th. Another interesting aspect of the whole tourism business, a lot of people go to southern U.S. and Florida and Arizona as snowbirds. People from Canada love to go down there and spend the cold winters, cold up here winters, down in the warm areas of the U.S. And people have been doing it for years and years and years. And they love it down there. They love their American winter residents down there. But, you know, because of these tariffs and everything that's going on, and now with the new border controls where tourists have to register with the government if they're going to stay down in the U.S. over 30 days, a lot of people are staying away, and a lot of people that are down there are actually coming home because of these new restrictions, because you have to register in advance to do that. I mean, you can be thrown in jail if you're caught, you know, going around trying to work around those regulations. So that's going to hurt a lot of areas in the U.S. for tourism as well. Not only that, a lot of people that own properties in the U.S., specifically Florida, have reportedly been selling their properties like crazy. There's a whole bunch involved in that. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was the Trump tariffs. However, there's a lot of problems in Florida as well with insurance. Insurance companies now are racking their rates so high because there are so many challenges in Florida with weather related. You know, the water tables are going up, flooding, that sort of thing, as well as the sinkhole situation. So a lot of people are leaving Florida for that reason. Now, when all this blows over, I'm really hoping that we're able to get back to some sort of normalcy. I would love to go back down to the United States. I love traveling there. The people there are phenomenal. And everything that I talk about with the United States, although up here in Canada we're mad right now and we're upset and we're hurt that our closest ally and friend is doing this to us, or the president of that country is doing it to us, we do not hold any ill will toward the people of America. I mean, for those people that voted for Trump, all I can say is, you know, give your head a shake. I mean, the whole world is topsy-turvy right now. With everything that's going on in the world because of Trump, the United States has not been taken advantage of by every country in the world that Trump is putting tariffs on. He is just using some of these presidential papers to distract and build upon what he really wants, and that is he wants to be an expansionist president. He wants to expand the empire, and he wants to emulate Putin, whose objective is to take over neighboring countries and all of that. I mean, it's a really sad situation that it's come down to this, but it's real, and we take it very serious up here in Canada because our sovereignty is on the line. And as much as we love our American friends, we are unique individuals, and we have a unique culture and country up here. It's very similar to the United States, but it is not the United States, and that's the way we want to keep it. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what we're going through up here. In the meantime, though, we do invite you to come up and have a look at our country. Come get to know us a little better, and maybe we can shed some light so that when all this blows over, we have a better understanding of where each other is coming from. So that's all for now. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.